emotions when you were on the sideline, kind of saw the hunger in your eyes. What was going on there for you in that moment?
Man, I've been overlooked all my life in that game, you know. Since I was 6 years old, I was still making plays. So for me to be able to overcome all of that and get here and be able to get my first NFL touchdown in the game like this, like, it was amazing. It was just a whole lot of built-up emotion and anger and frustration and crying, all of that. I just let it loose tonight.
LaJohntay, when you're settling in for that first punt return, just what's going through your head as that is all unfolding?
This might be the one. That's what I was thinking. Like,
Even on the first
I was real aggressive tonight. Like, that was my goal coming in the game, is to be aggressive and let God work his magic.
What's up and welcome everybody. It's time for the Lunchtime Football Card Review. And man, you can see from that interview right there, LaJohntay Wester, bro, he had an absolute ball out of a game yesterday. He had 3 catches for 41 yards, and then he had a punt return for a TD for 87 yards. Man, and a couple of running backs that they had on the Ravens looked absolutely wonderful yesterday. They put on a running back clinic yesterday. Starting off with Keaton Mitchell, and then you had Rasheen Ali, and then it went on to D'Ernest Johnson. Those are the 3 running backs yesterday that kind of stood out, and those are the 4 players really that stood out the most for the Ravens yesterday to me, that I took away from that game. On the other side of the ball with the Colts, Anthony Richardson, he went down early, went out with injury. He only took a couple of snaps, and then he got sacked really hard. It looked brutal too on camera when I was watching it live. But Daniel Jones, he came in. He had a really decent game. I'd say he'd probably get the starting position, seeing what happened to Anthony Richardson. But other than that game was a nice game to watch. It looked like for a second there that the Colts were gonna have a promising game and might you know what I'm saying, beat the Ravens, but the Ravens ended up coming out with the dub. They just ended up pulling away there towards the end, and the Ravens had a really good game, and I know those coaches over there walked away from that game knowing some things. You know what I'm saying? I think LaJohntay Wester might have solidified his spot on the roster, along with some other guys that might have been out there. Both defenses played really good. So even though the Colts lost, I think they got some good things that they can look at back on for the game and take away from that game too as well. And I'm really interested into seeing how both of these teams end up finishing out the preseason, how both defenses end up moving on into the regular season. Because like I said yesterday, both defenses looked really good. Next up, we got the Eagles versus the Bengals. And man, this game was a pretty decent game. Like I said, I only pretty much caught a little bit of this game. I flipped back and forth. I was mainly watching the Ravens game, kind of flipped back and forth between the Ravens and the Bengals and Eagles. But man, Cincinnati, they look good. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they started the game off. Jamar Chase had a nice inbounds catch that led to a Hudson touchdown, and then Jamar Chase ended up eventually scoring a touchdown himself before he coming out of the game. Burrow looked good too yesterday. We didn't see any T. Higgins, but like I said, Hudson was one of the notable wide receivers that was out there doing his thing. The running backs, they did their thing too for Cincinnati. And you had a couple of other receivers that also too showed up on the offensive side of the ball, grabbing some balls, catching for Cincinnati. But you know, Chase Brown, he also got in for Cincinnati, and he did look good as well out there. Now, on the Eagles side of the ball, Tanner McKee, he looked good. The Eagles defense looked good, and so did Cincinnati's defense look pretty decent too out there. I will say for the Eagles, there is definitely going to be a running back battle for that second string position spot behind Saquon Barkley. And man, some of those running backs over there were looking pretty decent for the Eagles. So I'd like to see how that turns out and plays out. And it looks like that the Eagles also have a good backup quarterback in Tanner McKee. just in case Hurts might go down or might have to miss a game or two this season. It looks like that they might not even skip a heartbeat. He probably can't run like Hurts or nothing like that, but he would definitely be able to keep up with the offense from what I seen yesterday in that game. All right, then for this third game, like I said, I didn't catch much of this one. I was tired. I went for a run after work, so I kind of was in the bed chilling, watching my own little shows by the time this game came on. As far as for the Raiders, O'Connell, he played, took majority of your snaps. Ashton Genty, he only had like 3 carries and he went negative yards. So hope to see some more production out of him as the preseason goes on. They did have a couple of different receivers on the Raiders that ended up getting some touches. And like I said, I haven't kept up too much with some of the new guys that they got over there. Then on the other side of the ball, no Sam Darnold playing for the Seahawks, but we did see Drew Lock and Milroe. They both got some snaps in, with Lock getting majority of the snaps. They got a running back over there, George Holani. I don't know if I'm saying that right, so my bad if I'm butchering it, but he had a pretty decent game yesterday, and he looks like he could be a real strong number 2 on that roster, or number 3, because I think they already have a number 2 running back for the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, the Seahawks they had a couple of different wide receivers that they also targeted during the game. So both teams look like that they're looking to fill maybe a 3 or 4 slot on their wide receiver depth chart. So, you know, that's just something to be looking into as this preseason goes on for those two teams. Like I said, I don't really have much to take away from the game because I didn't do anything but watch some highlights of it this morning. It looks like both defenses played well, both teams played well, and the game ended up in a tie. Anyways, the Lions and the Falcons is going to be one of the first games that we have up today, starting at 6 o'clock Central Time. The Lions, I'm pretty much looking at their defense, looking at them to have a better game than the Hall of Fame game. And I'm looking to see what weapons that they added on the offense. Who's going to be some backup guys for the receivers, and then also who's going to be some good backups or potential starters on that defense. On the other side of the ball for the Falcons, I'm looking to see Michael Penix and see how he's going to adjust to the pace and everything of the game, and also seeing what other wide receivers that they might have that can go alongside of Drake London and Ray McLeod, because the Falcons have definitely been in lack of that wide receiver area room for a while now, and I think, you know, with a quarterback like Michael Penix and guys like Daryl Mooney and Ray McLeod and Drake London, and then any other additions that they choose to add on, I think if they put some serious weapons around him, it would be really nice for them this season. So that's a little bit what I'm looking into for that game. For the next game, it's going to be probably the most viewed game out of all the games. It's going to be the Cleveland Browns versus the Carolina Panthers, and we all know why that's going to be the most viewed game. It's because the Cleveland Browns has a big quarterback battle going on over there between Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, and now Tyler Huntley. So, and then they also have the injured Deshaun Watson, but Shedeur Sanders is going to be taking most of the snaps. He's going to be the starter, and then Tyler Huntley, of course, is going to be the other player we see, with Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel both being out due to injuries. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. And let me tell you, that's going to be the only thing that I'm watching for really in this game is Shedeur Sanders, and then maybe what other else weapons that they might have on offense for the Cleveland Browns. We all know the Cleveland Browns, their defense is going to be pretty good because they got Myles Garrett on it. So looking to see how that defense is going to be panning out too, and if they're going to have any other players that's going to pair good alongside with Myles Garrett once we get into the regular season. As far as the other side of the ball with Carolina Panthers, I'm going to be looking at pretty much 2 receivers, Jimmy Horn and McMillan. I'm not even going to butcher McMillan's first name. I'm looking to see what those 2 guys might be able to do, and what even some of the other wide receivers might be able to do. I haven't been able to keep up with too much with these 2 teams, or any other last 2 teams that I just named. But I've been certain players I've been trying to keep up with, and there's certain things that I've been wanting to see from these guys. I also want to see how Carolina Panthers line is going to hold up. Really, both these teams have had iffy lines in the past couple years. So that's just a few things that I'm gonna be watching for in this game. Now with the third game, Commanders and Patriots, it's almost pretty much a little bit of the same. Like, I'm looking at the lines for both of these teams. I want to see how these linemen are going to hold up. I'm looking to see what these backup quarterbacks going to do. For the Patriots, I'm looking to see what Drake May is going to do out there. I know we should see a little bit of him. But the Patriots, they got some wide receiver positions that they're trying to fill as well. They got Stephon Diggs and gosh, what's that guy's name? Bourne and Douglas. But you know, looking to see who's gonna be those 3 and 4 and maybe even 2 receiver once the season gets started. Because I mean, yeah, they got some receivers over there, but nobody really just solid. So who is gonna be some solid, reliable receivers for Drake May other than Stephon Diggs going forward? So that's what I'm looking for the Patriots. And then for the Commanders, almost the same thing, because if this deal does not get handled with McLaurin, then you're losing ultimately your top receiver. So just to see some new guys and see how the wide receiver position goes on for both of these teams is one thing that I'm gonna be looking into. Without further ado, I ain't gonna hold y'all anymore, because y'all see I got my lunch right here. I barely even touched it. I still gotta finish my lunch, you know what I'm saying? And then I gotta run a couple errands. So I'm gonna let y'all get back to work. I'm gonna get back to my lunch break, and y'all tune in to me. I think I'm gonna drop another video tomorrow discussing these games, and I'll discuss the weekend games that we got for Saturday and Sunday. So y'all make sure y'all tune in to me tomorrow. And again, it's the Lunchtime Football Car Review. Peace.